40,000 players on one server. Atlas launched before the end of the year with big promises for an MMORPG experience unlike any other. But did it live up to the hype? Find out on this episode of the Council of Trolls. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of the Council of Trolls. I am your host, Vinny, and with me I have the infamous, the first time ever on this episode, Jay Skizzy, Slizzy Slate Slime, Ball creeping over here. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Thank you for being on the show.
Of course.
First time on Slate, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself here?
Well, my name Justin Slate, Jay Slate, whatever. Been gaming all my life since first met Vinny here when we were 3 years old. Started on the NES.
Wee lads.
Yeah. Go over his house, play the PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts.
And then when I decided to actually grow up, that's when I got the Xbox for Christmas. Had Halo 1, then Halo 2 is what got me into the online gaming, some serious gaming. Had to leave my childhood behind, age 13, so,
jeez.
I had to just go off on my own adventures, but yeah.
Man, you were giving me the autograph first, and then they just ripped the heart right out. Wow, okay, well, hey, I see how it is. So, well, let's get right down to it, Slate, because Atlas just launched not that long ago. We had the announcement for it at the VGAs that it was going to be on early access on the Xbox and PC. Now, it was originally slated, no pun intended, for a December 13th release.
Yes.
But we saw a continued delay after delay after delay, and it wasn't released until the 22nd. We're talking, almost 2 weeks later. Should we expect things like this with an early access game?
That's a complicated question. I feel like we should expect hiccups through development. That was very weird, the December 13th launch. And then, actually, that was just terrible. They basically put a countdown on their website, playatlas.com, had everybody looking at it. I'm not sure if it was up for December 13th, but for the December 19th one, it was definitely up. It was countdown to 6 p.m. Eastern. No communication all day on the 13th, and they delayed it. Again, the 19th, all day, the countdown. Twitch numbers are up, like big Twitch streamers are posting the countdown on their page, getting hundreds of thousands of views. And then no communication from the devs.
Wow.
Everybody's like, is it even dropping tonight? And everybody's like, well, the countdown's still going, so it's confirmed it's dropping. 6 p.m. comes around, they announce another delay with a 3-minute trailer saying that it's going to come out the 21st. And then the 21st comes around, I believe, and then they delayed it again to the 22nd. I believe so, on a Saturday. If that's not 100% accurate, I'm not sure, but
yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah.
Especially the communication part of it.
So, do you feel like they handled it poorly?
I definitely think they handled it poorly as far as communication goes.
Okay.
If they
from themselves to the gamers.
To the gamers, yeah. Because already with the reputation of Arcast, with the various bugs, the performance on console, the performance on PC, even they kind of were going to clear their name. I feel like they had a chance to, at least. And then with that lack of communication, that was definitely like bringing up some red flags about the whole development. But yeah, that was just left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Now,
throughout the game.
They had a pretty big promise, 40,000 players on one server. It was going to be this ultimate pirate adventure. So I guess one could really understand why they would struggle with launch. Do you feel like it was too early of an early access game?
Well, I read something where I believe that they partnered with people who host the servers, a company. And there was an article that came out recently, I should have wrote this down, but they basically said that the headline, it was like they were misled to how far along their development was really with the game.
Wow.
So I'm never a believer in a game is too early to release, because I feel like I feel like people kind of know what they signed up for early access. Early access is early access. It's going to be early. I don't think there's a time in early access where okay, this now it's not too soon. Now we can release it.
Yeah.
I feel like early you're going to get what you signed up for.
Yeah. Well, and I mean at this day and age, some games aren't even really ready to be played until 3 or 6 months after they drop.
Yeah.
Depending on the game we're talking about here. So, well, I gotta say, as someone who's really a single player type of gamer. Mm-hmm. When I saw this trailer, so excited. This was something I wanted to be true. Did it live up to the hype?
So what about your excitement? What did you feel like? What made you excited for it? What was going on in your
head? So the trailer is really what had done it in for me. You have this massive world at your fingertips where there's so much to dive into and there's so much openness to what you can do. And the interactions among players within a community even seem so promising.
Yeah. So were you saying the multiplayer aspect, or were you hoping for a single player story mode?
Oh no, the multiplayer aspect for sure.
Mm. Yeah, I mean I definitely think that's delivered. What I translate from the trailer, and they did this with Ark as well too, they show the highlights of the game, like a lot of trailers do. But what they show when they show ships sailing, firing cannons at everybody, you have to be that like everything you see in a trailer, everything you see in the game, you work for.
Right.
You basically craft everything. You gain levels, you kill animals to gain those levels, alpha animals, things like that. And you do, that trailer is true. You get to that point.
Well, but there are a lot of people out there in the community who happen to disagree with you on that. In fact, even when you look at Steam, the game only has a 31% approval rating from people who have, played the game. That's a really low approval rating. And when you look at how buggy the game was at launch, you had really messy combat. There were instances of people, fighting a level 3 snake and then a level 5 bird, and then all of a sudden a level 154 pig comes out of nowhere and kills the whole squad. You have instances of players who just built their ship and they're selling out for the first time, and the moment it sells out, it gets caught up and it gets destroyed and the ship sinks. So, a lot of people, have a lot of, issues with that, and even the graphic aspect of it too. I mean, it's one thing for it to be a cinematic and to look the way it does now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the bugs and the glitches. Me and our friend Ryan, that we played for 2 nights straight.
Okay.
And we built a ship. It takes a lot to build a ship. To build the caliber ship.
Is it grindy though? Is it?
What do you define as grindy?
I mean, just a lot of repetitive action for this outcome, which then allows you to go to a deeper outcome.
Well, it's for if you played Minecraft. I know you're not really familiar with Minecraft.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%. I went in on Minecraft for a little bit, but it's pretty much like that. You gather resources. You go out. You gather wood by chopping down trees. You gather thatch. You gather. Metal, stuff like that, fiber, all that stuff, and you basically get it all together, and then you build a ship.
Do you need a team to really have a good time in the game?
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that is, I would definitely, if you were coming in solo, if you're a social gamer and you meet people online, then that's perfectly fine. If you meet people online, people are friendly, especially the island that we're on. We've talked, we've made alliances already. People are willing, to help you out in the chat. But if you're not, I go in with my friends that I know. There's 4 of us, and we're having a good time.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go out of my way to basically try to talk with strangers online. It's kind of weird to me, but I understand how people do it. I just can't do it that well. So.
Hey, I'm not going to give it too much flack. It's a very ambitious game, one of the most ambitious games out there. It is an early access game. There's only so much flack you can give it on, I guess, on that quality aspect side of it. I think the biggest accusation against Atlas right now is that it's simply an Ark reskin. There are streamers out there who have shown how on the main menu of Atlas there's an actual secret menu when you scroll all the way down to the bottom and you can select it, and it brings up the ARC menu. Was Atlas really something that should have been released as an ARC DLC? There were even people saying that there are ARC files in the install file even. How much of Atlas would you say probably borrowed from ARC?
I would say definitely the engine, I believe they use Unreal Engine 4.
Okay.
I think there were some modifications made to it. It runs a lot better than ARC did on launch.
Okay.
I believe, like, I would say it definitely, I call myself calling it ARC all the time. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I hate ARC, blah, 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 like whenever I get frustrated or something. But I feel like it's kind of unfair to call it a reskin. I feel like it is a true sequel to ARC.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of sequels in games, I mean, they look similar. Of course, they have those graphical upgrades.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily get that with Atlas, with ARC to Atlas, just because, I mean, right now it's an early access game, so they're probably not 100% on the graphical side of things. But going to making it like, I believe the number was 1,200 times bigger than a single ARC map.
Wow.
And that including like oceans, there's almost, I think, over 700 islands. And each island is pretty much like, can be the size of an ARC map. Like I know what we're on right now, it's very big. But I just feel like a lot of ARC is there, the systems that were built, like I kind of compare it to a Gears of War. So like when you go from Gears of War 1 to Gears of War 2,
okay.
You have the cover, you have the cover system, the weapon system, selecting everything the same. Going from ARC to Atlas, you kind of have the same crafting systems, the same menu. And I feel like that's okay because they created that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very
that's like their thing.
system.
It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
Apple and iOS.
Exactly.
So that's really their thing. Well, Atlas certainly has set that foundation. I think it's sung a lot for people like myself who, you know, was looking forward to a game like Sea of Thieves, and then you see this other game which is promising even so much more than what Sea of Thieves was, and for it to struggle so much at first is pretty disheartening. But do you think there's a solid foundation here? Do you think there's a lot more for there to come in the world of Atlas?
Yeah, I feel like it's a beautiful foundation. Like, being quite honest, like, you're going to, like, I feel like everybody gets ahead of themselves, lets the hype kind of take control, because it is an early access game. Like we talked about at the beginning. Like, early access literally is, these games are not finished, there's going to be periodic updates, you know, this stuff is going to be expected. Like, Sea of Thieves, when the full launch came, you couldn't connect for the first couple days. Yeah. So I feel like they went through the same thing, but so many people were hyped up for it because they released that trailer and everything like that. That people were like, like they were expecting a fully fledged AAA game, fully polished and everything, able to connect. When you have 40,000 people trying to connect, or 40,000 people server that it connects, you know, hold up to. It gets nasty and gets messy. So I feel like it got a lot of flack because people were going in expecting a completely different game from ARC, but they got an ARC sequel.
How much longer till we get the full game?
They said it's going to be in early access about 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. Wow.
So they've been upfront about that since before launch. Before people spend money.
Good.
So, but yeah, like the evolution. I follow one of it's the lead community manager on Twitter. I think it's Jat Thiesh or something like that. JAT.
Name.
Yeah, I think he's European. Oh. So. He updates like every day, multiple times a day. They work through Christmas, like they've released. Yeah, they were really pushing the team, but it's good to see that they're grinding. I really think they care about the project, and I really hope they can do a lot of improvements to the game way before the final product launches, so people can really enjoy it the way they should. Well, a lot more to come from Atlas, I'm sure. A lot more to come. From the Council of Trolls on this as we have progress and updates. Sleazy, do you have any last words that you'd like to say on this? Nothing. I believe it's a great game if you have friends. And if you're a social gamer who likes to make friends online, I say go for it. But yeah, I mean, right now it gets my stamp of approval. You're going to be frustrated though. There's disconnects, bugs.
Expect the frustration.
Yeah, expect the frustration.
It's the birth pains that come along.
Once you get rolling, once you get some momentum of what you're doing in the game, it's nice. It's a good experience.
There you have it. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode, guys. Comment below, let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.
Look out, folks! Look out, folks! Look out!